All right. Well, let me get to share that is completely crazy land. This is the latest. Let's go through De Blasio in New York. He
bold action, aggressive action to address these new threats. It's Omicron, it's cold weather, which we know presents a real challenge with COVID in every form. It's the holiday gatherings coming up. There's a lot going on. And what we're seeing now in other parts of the world, and this is really an area of tremendous concern, we're seeing restrictions starting to come back. We're seeing shutdowns. Look at Germany right now. Such a strong nation. It's Omicron. It's cold weather.
Doesn't pause properly. I can't stand Newsweek's website, man. It's so frustrating. Anyway, long and short of this is he sure does mention a whole lot of stuff and fails to mention that in other parts of the world, they're also reporting how there's very little to no symptoms. Like it's a very mild strain and not the hysteria that maybe should warrant these crazy shutdowns. But he doesn't say any of that, does he, in his vax across the board, 5 and up, right? I have that right. But he doesn't say any of that. Uh-oh. Bob?
What's up, man?
Did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
Okay, so I mean, it's vax for 5 and up. They can stop you from going to restaurants and all that kind of thing. That's what he was basically proposing, correct?
Oh, De Blasio, yeah, he's going all out with 3 weeks left. The problem is, he may actually have the authority to do all this. That's the thing, because the locals and the state officials have sweeping police powers to do this kind of stuff. The big question is what's Adams going to do when he takes over? That's the big question.
Well, a judge put this off until the 14th, so he didn't get to implement it as fast as he may have thought. Today, this was Tuesday. Yesterday, Judge Frank P. Nervo in the Supreme Court of New York gave notice the mandate was suspended. So they'll have a hearing on the 14th. And then there's sort of like a lot of back and forth about exactly what you're saying, whether or not this is something they can do or not. Like this is so expanded into you can't go to restaurants, you can't go to stores. You physically, if you're not vaccinated, you can't have proof of vaccine. Mm-hmm. You and your kids really have next to no life. Like there's just very little that you even are going to be able to even do. Like I don't even know how you can feed yourself if every store is requiring these things. There's fines. They're trying to roll out at-home vaccines. That was part of this story, was kind of snuck in. I hadn't heard that before. I don't know if you had. Is that kind of a thing that's in other parts of the country, or is that like a New York thing?
Oh, as far as I know, that's just New York. I mean, that sounds like New York City. The state itself has also gone back to some draconian things, but yeah, De Blasio's taken to another level. And I guess the other question I would have is, yeah, he's the mayor, so he probably has some authority to this, but I don't know the legalities, but should he have the city council on board with this? Should there be some vote amongst them? I'm not sure about that. It sounds incredibly dictatorial, and really unnecessary too.
And you bring up a great point too. It's like if you're a city council person, how are you not speaking up and going, wait a minute, whoa, you're not doing this without including us. You know what I mean? It's like, here I am. He just stands up there and then just says all these things, and that's it. We're going to do it. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. But again, like you said, for 2 years now, they basically didn't do anything. So it's a little hard now. I guess it's like this is where the line will be drawn. I don't know. And we have another situation on the other coast, right? We have let me go to Oregon. We've talked about Kate Brown before, but you want to say about New York?
I was going to say, while you're bringing that up, you have to remember though that De Blasio has his eyes on running for governor, so this is all part of the package. I think he thinks this is going to help him.
Yeah, this is going to be the new litmus test on some of these different tactics in these big cities. It's like what they can get away with in their city, when what will states agree to. This is Kate Brown. Kate Brown, they're moving forward in Oregon with statewide mask mandates that'll basically be perpetual. They're not going to stop. And then, of course, within 24 hours of that announcement, there's photos that emerged of her. This is her right there, center at an LBGTQRS elemental P event. Yeah, without her mask. So, and nobody a mask. If you notice people in the background, no masks, none of them. So again, people are going to put up with this stuff, but it's just, this is another photo, other people posing. I think the one person she's speaking to has a mask on, but there's 1, 2, 3 or 4 people in the background. They don't have masks on. This is crazy.
Well, I mean, I would think Governor Brown would have bigger fish to fry right now with all the criminal activity going on in Portland, and so it just it's kind of crazy that this is her focus. I don't get it.
This is just basically it's a mask mandate, and it's just going to stay in effect. It's like an emergency order to just keep it in place. Then that way we won't have to worry about her theory is, or the way she explained it was, this way we won't have to worry about trying to issue or reissue mandates. We don't have to keep it doing this constant cycle, because you've used it as a constant measure through all these different variants and all these different things that keep popping up with the different strains and different variations. So her theory is, we'll just have this in place, and then someday when it's all over, then we'll just take it out. And it's like, no. And this involves like masking outside, masking in public parks. I mean, their stuff is so draconian. I mean, this is like New Zealand draconian. This is Australia. This is Oregon, though.
Yeah. It's too bad. It just makes me wonder, how's the population going to deal with that? I know there's those that, I see them on Twitter, that they're all for keeping this thing going forever and ever, and the virus ain't going away. And I mean, this morning it was absolutely amazing, because I didn't go to work today. I was able to watch a little bit of TV. I saw some Morning Joe this morning, and typically pretty painful. But I did catch a little clip of them saying something interesting. Would you like to hear it?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I need to lose a couple years off my life by listening to Morning Joe.
Well, it's just several of the things I got to talk about COVID is like, okay, so now you're finally on board. That's the general feel. Let me see if I can find this clip pretty quickly.
Have you noticed any changes? Obviously, this stuff's getting hysterical in the press over the last week or so. You notice any changes in general people's behavior or anything like that, as far as more or less masking?
Here in Florida, no. I mean,
yeah. Okay. I still notice a major difference in Tampa than I do everywhere else I go.
I just don't see it. Now, have more people been getting vaccinated? That seems to be the trend, because the fear factor came out again. But I mean, that's fine. I'm obviously I'm not opposed to that.
Let's hear what Joe and this was on with her. So
this was the conversation this morning. Here's just a short clip of it. Hopefully you can hear it.
It seems to me that Republicans, but even Democrats, are starting to understand that we're going to have to learn to live with this. Yeah. We're not going to be we're not going to be able to shut down cities again. We're not going to be able to shut down schools again. It's time now we move into a phase where we're going to have to figure out how to live with this, how to keep everything open, how to be responsible.
Mika in the background. What a clown.
And Democrats have been understanding that on the Hill, right?
No, absolutely. I mean, doctors are telling people we're going to have to get boosters likely every year, right? How we get a flu shot, you know what I mean?
Anyway, bro, that's
I love that he was I love that he was nodding as though this is something that, like, oh yeah, we all agree on this. This is like a complete 180 different direction for these people. Is suddenly, it'll be around forever. We shouldn't shut things down.
Yes, exactly.
It's like all you're doing is proving that DeSantis was right a year and a half ago. Like this is
that's really my point. It's
crazy.
Like, that's how I've been living since late April of last year.
Yeah.
So
yeah, April/May of last year was when Florida pretty much opened up, and we were having conversations about how to approach, keeping safe, being safe, where we were on different things. And here we are now. And now we suddenly, and Democrats are coming around. It's like, oh man, you guys are just,
And,
but
and then hearing Mika in the background, mandates. she's just horrible.
I know.
She's horrible.
The alternative is a shutdown is mandates. Like they're so authoritarian. They are so into controlling people like a drug, like it's like an addiction at this point, that their alternative to shutdown is we're going to have a bunch of mandates in place from 5-year-olds and up. So New York to Oregon, folks, that's the latest in that regard. And, we were talking offline, you were talking about how the media has really been working with the Bidens, kind of daily damage control of their messaging and that kind of thing. That's kind of been reported now. CNN's basically been transparent about that. Do you see any real shift? I mean, I do see a little bit of criticism and that kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, well, there has been criticism.
We had a chat. We had a message come in of VOA. What does VOA mean? Do you guys know?
I don't know. Voice of America.
Voice of America. That's you, Bob. You're Voice of America.
Is that me? All right.
I don't know who Sandra Johns is. Thanks for the comment, Sandra.
Well, you're LGB, so
I am. Let's go, Brandon. I didn't know I could get the whole country behind me so quickly. I have a clip I didn't get a chance to finish editing from Dave Rubin. Talks about his friend Brandon. So my name's getting out there.
We're News Talk with Brandon and Bob. We're here to tell you about some of the facts so you don't have to waste your time watching CNN.
We don't want you wasting any time with CNN.
Or Fox, or MSNBC, or some of these other guys that are making a whole lot of money.
Et cetera, et cetera.
It's not paying.